on Monday, I'll be on metric time.
Which airport do you fly into?
Heathrow. Then walking right to the hotel and going to sleep.
Good idea.
Good.
Usually though, it's going over because the excitement of going over, you're okay, it's coming home.
Yeah, takes longer to recover coming home.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the May 14th Lenawee County Board of Commissioners Accounts Payable Committee. Welcome, everyone. Good to see you. I think we should reprimand Paul a little bit this morning because we both got 11 pages of counts here this morning. I thought we were reducing. Okay, I would ask for approval of the minutes of April 30th, 2026.
So move.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Martis, supported by Administrator Murphy. Any additions or corrections? Paul's doing a great job again. No additions or corrections. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. We'll do the voucher review and we'll start with the run on May 7th.
I only have a question, one question on each run, actually. And of course, you never know really what you're asking about.
Well, maybe we should have more of them at 11 pages than it will only have 2.
I am not the problem child in this regard.
So you say.
On page 3, County Clerk's Office, I see this very large restitution, $21,000. That caught my eye. And it's payable to the firefighters. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not sure on the specifics of the case, but there must have been a crime that caused significant damage.
to the firefighters union, apparently.
Well, maybe. That's interesting.
Yeah, I did a Google search to see if there's any court records. We don't need to discuss it here.
Well, this is a court
I can-
restitution, right? So.
Yes, this is from the courts. I can call over to the circuit court and see if they are able to give me any information.
That might be a good idea, because I think that is kind of strange that it's the union. And Administrator Murphy, you have any aware?
I don't know the specific case either. And typically what's happened is, there's been a situation, the judges had to have a ruling on something. Someone is ordered to pay restitution, and that's usually because of some sort of damage, whether that's, damage to equipment, or whether that's funds that have been taken that shouldn't have been taken. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons as to why a restitution could be ordered. And in this particular situation, and typically the courts don't make us aware of who's paying restitution and how. But what they do is oftentimes the individual who's ordered to pay restitution, it can be done a few ways. Sometimes that restitution comes in and then it's immediately paid out. So you'll see smaller payments going out. Other times it may be brought in and accumulated and then paid out. And it doesn't necessarily even mean that one person is paying that restitution. It could be numerous individuals that are involved in that particular payment right there.
Yeah, because there are a lot of restitution payments really out virtually every run, so it's not a typical, that number caught my eye, so.
In addition, we don't pay that money out until after we have collected it. So it would not be from a recent event. It looks like this case is from 2024. It's been prior to that and how long before they identified the person.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
That's all I had on that run.
I've only got a few too, so, the Community Mental Health Partnership, is that part of our allowance that we pay CMH? Our annual contribution of some $500,000?
Which department is that one in? We get,
It's your office.
4th line item.
Community Mental Health Partnership of Southeast Michigan, and it was almost $50,000. So we pay them, we pay Community Mental Health like $500,000 a year, right, toward their budget?
Yes, this is from, I believe it's a liquor tax that we collect.
Oh.
And a portion of that is allocated towards the community mental health to help address
Okay,
the issues that we're taxing on.
okay, so it isn't our commitment out of the general fund, this is separate, okay.
And I was gonna say, and you're correct, we paid just over 500,000, I don't remember the exact amount, to CMH on an annual basis.
Okay, good, thanks. And then just a little further down, Administrator Murphy, there's, some quick claim deeds. And I take it those are when you closed out, the county that we talked about at the meeting yesterday? Okay,
Yeah, we, even as a county entity, we're still required to pay the recording fees for the, deeds to be recorded. We did not have to pay the transfer fees, which normally individuals would be required to pay. And there were 3 deeds, that were still in the name of the Lenawee County Building Authority that we did transfer over into Lenawee County. So those are the recording fees that you're seeing.
that's what I thought, thank you. And then going down to page 2, not necessarily for you, Paul, more for administration and budgeting purposes, under building and grounds, I see that the salt barn just came up on a tractor battery. I don't have any problem with the tractor battery. I'm just, have they talked to you any about the salt barn and budgeting purposes about the one that's kind of deteriorating over there?
I have not heard anything particular, about needing to do anything with the salt barn, but I don't know if you've had conversations with building and ground superintendent during capital discussions.
I believe right now that it's not placed in the capital plan for the next 5 years. I believe that's due to the cost of what it would be to replace it or to, do what needs to be done, as well as what they already have going on in the current 5-year cap plan.
Oh, okay, he has mentioned that to me, so it's something that we might want to take a look at. Maybe we should go over there and take a look at it sometime with him, so. Going to page 6, under emergency management, we got a new truck, a new vehicle for the emergency manager? Is it-
That was part of the, and I'm sorry, Paul, do you want to answer that?
You should.
Sorry. That was part of the capital improvement plan, vehicle for the emergency manager. His vehicle did come in. It is being decaled with the appropriate decals. It is a white vehicle. And his vehicle is being transferred over to the airport so that they can use that as one of their vehicles.
Very good, thank you. Information and technology on page 6, just for my information, CDD government, it's not a big expense, but it's $227. I have no idea what TOA Toglas 4M7IN, whatever it is, Adrian Township. You see that it's 5599 under information, second item, in IT technology.
I believe this is giving us a brand name. I'm not certain on the exact piece of equipment right now. This looks like either a router or some kind of switch.
Okay. Some sort of IT stuff for, and it must be for Adrian Township, huh? So we do their work for them?
Double check that
Mm.
this isn't going through, not going through printing and purchasing, but it may be a pass through. I will have to double check.
The account number up that it was paid under. I'm having him look up because I don't know that this is the case or not. However, the IT department does manage the emergency vehicles, so the law enforcement vehicles within the county. And so if they have a mobile data terminal or something that was bad in their vehicle, they do bring it to IT and IT replaces it and it's paid out of a very specific fund.
Okay,
So
that's why I'd say,
I'm not sure if that's what it is, and that's why I asked if we could see the account number for which it was paid under. That might help. Otherwise, we don't do IT work for any of the local municipalities.
Adrian Township have their own constable or deputies.
That is correct. It's for the mobile data terminal.
okay, that's what it's for, thank you. on probate court, I'm sure it's probably one of the big, court cases we had, but one, two, three, four, fourth one down, we had a $4,400 forensic evaluation. Is that for one of our big murder cases or something?
As it's for the probate court, I'm not sure how much information I can have on that. However, I do know that some of these evaluations can be very costly. They do have mitigating circumstances that they have moved away from using these evaluations when they are not necessary. They've implemented a YAFI system, which is just a training to better recognize when these evaluations are needed. It's a-
I don't know, if Deputy Elliott, in your past experience, did you want to just add a little bit of history there?
Sure. So the court currently went to YASI, which is its own assessment tool, so they can implement that right there in the court with court staff. In prior years, we didn't have that tool, so it was kind of, we think there could be concerns here, we're not sure. So we need to push that out to a larger evaluation. But the forensic evaluations or psychological evaluations are very, very expensive, especially for youth, because there's not a great deal of people who do them.
I figured that. And then a little further down, we had a Brandon McNamee, an appeal for $4,300. Is that appealing a case cost $4,300? I don't quite understand what the charge is for that or the payment for that.
Yes, so typically our appeals attorneys through the probate court charge for the entire amount for the entire case at once. It's not stating exactly how long that case was. Oftentimes these can be generally from the probate court.
So Brandon McNee would be the attorney?
Yes.
Okay, okay, gotcha. That's what I was trying to. And lastly, I found this one kind of interesting in the treasurer's office. And the lawn care, lawn mowing. Treasurer's office.
Yes, and Vet Lawn Care is the business. They're doing lawn mowing for us. Likely with associated with the land bank. This isn't us mowing for AmVet.
Okay.
But for even treasurer.
Oh, yes, yes, not for the treasurer's.
I was trying to figure that out. Okay, that's all I had on that run, but thank you. Okay, so now we'll go to the run for 5/14, May 14th. Question I have while you're looking up there, Commissioner Martis, is your office again, Kim, are you getting a standing desk system? Like, is that what that's for? Okay, I figured.
Yes, and actually you may see a couple more of those come through. We have determined that the ability to have a desk, or at least a part of a desk that raises and lowers, it has been actually proven very beneficial. We do have some employees that are dealing with some health issues where there is a need for them to be able to stand and sit back and forth. And so we have identified, I believe, 3 desks that will have to have that conversion made. So
Those are nice. I mean,
Yeah.
I can see.
it's helpful for those that need to be able to stand up throughout the day.
Marissa's like loving hers, so yeah.
Mhm. When we originally ordered the furniture in the building, some people opted to go with a desk that would raise and lower and others did not. And since then, we've had a number of personnel change over, and as employees have come in or just life has happened in general, it's been identified that that is more beneficial to the employee and to their health, is to be able to have that opportunity. They can continue working, but standing up. You can imagine sitting at your desk for 7.5 hours a day, and you're leaning over and you're typing, creates a lot of strain on backs, necks, eyes, a whole lot of strain. So being able to continue to work but stand up, put the shoulders back and stuff is
Right.
very helpful for our employees.
All right, good. Commissioner?
Yeah, page 7, under the health department, I see a little over 10 grand for equipment repair for maintenance and solid waste. Does that have something to do with some of these waste collection
Probably our heater, right?
sites or?
Not our heater.
That's actually for so keep in mind that solid waste and materials management are handled through our health department. So what's happening here is there were some repairs that were needed to our compactors down here. And so that work was finally completed. The weather needed to break for them to be able to do that. So that has happened, and that's actually being paid through that solid waste and or materials management program rather than the actual health department. It's similar to the treasurer's office. You'll see things through the land bank coming through the treasurer's office because the treasurer chairs the land bank, and so she handles all of the invoicing. But what you can't see behind the scenes is the account number that's associated with that to show what department or division in the county it's coming from.
My frame of reference was the recycling site in the village of Blissfield, but then they asked to be removed, and that's why I was wondering if there was any connection between this and that. It didn't seem likely, but.
Yeah, no, that one actually is through our materials management program and is being covered through the grant. And we had 3 different sites throughout the county where we were trying to encourage appropriate recycling and working with the municipalities. Unfortunately, and I think a number of the residents in Blissfield were really excited about having the ability to have that recycling. There were enough bad actors that it was creating a problem for the Blissfield administration to continually clean up or remove some of the things that were being dropped off. And so in the end, it was costing them more time and money than what it ended up being worth. So we had it removed for them.
It's so odd because near our house, there was the one in Blissfield and then one just across the state line in Richfield Township. That one's been there for years with no issue. And I do see that the bulk of it, at least by volume, is Amazon boxes.
Well,
Tremendous quantity of Amazon.
I think what finally did it in Blissfield is when somebody dropped a tree off and put it in the bin. We decided at that point,
Oh, my.
Blissfield said, okay, enough's enough. So
I thought everybody knew those get dumped out on Academy Road. That's all I had on that run.
Page 2 on buildings and grounds. The last item is for the Human Services quarterly billing to train for $2,400. What is that for? Air conditioning or what's?
Got a maintenance contract for HVAC or something?
This is for scheduled, maintenance and inspections, basically to keep everything up to code. This also includes the judicial building in this.
So that's HVAC, is that what? Okay, good, thanks. And page 7, I think finally this is IT and information, just for my information, is that data center first item, $14,000, is that for storage?
I would have to double check with IT, but what I believe this is all of the servers. So yes, the information storage for the entire county.
Yeah, that's what okay.
But that's an end of it. So
Yes, if it indicates that, sorry, I haven't
Right.
quite identified where it's at on the,
no worries, but yeah, that's what it says, annual SSMA 26. Striking a little over 1,000 a month. Yeah. Okay.
And then on page 9, the sheriff's department, we had an MMR claim for $6,500. An insurance claim for an accident?
That's correct, on one of the
Saw
vehicles.
that. It made me think, who in their right mind would want to insure police cars?
no worries, we pay a premium for that.
I'm sure we do.
Actually, that's all of them I had too, so anybody else, any other questions on the run for May 14th? If not, a motion would be in order for payable both voucher runs.
We'll move.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Martis, supported by Administrator Murphy. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Other business, you won't be here for the next meeting, so
I will miss the next, well, I'm gonna be gone until June 5th. I don't know if that's the next one or next two.
I'll be the next two, so, okay.
Seems like it.
We should be okay, though.
Mhm.
Just keep the check run small, please, Paul.
Any other business? No public here for public comment. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Support.
Motion by Commissioner Martis, supported by Administrator Murphy. All those in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. We are adjourned. Thank